Yep, ready here.
Oh shit, I just realized I'm not signed into my D&D Beyond, so let me figure that out. But go ahead and continue. I'll deal.
I don't mind starting. Vexus. Last session, we were trying to basically fill in the blanks before nighttime, before we had to meet up with, sadly I don't have my notes open so I forget his name, but a guy who possibly stole the little girl's brother. So we came across an arena where people were standing in line betting. Vexus eventually got in line and he got asked whether he was going to fight or whether he was going to bet. And Vexus asked about fighting, and the guy pointed towards a statue of a gladiator. Vexus said, "Do I get a statue if I fight?" And he said, "Eventually." So Vexus gained a new objective to fight to gain a statue of himself. Yeah, and then we kind of discussed a little bit, decided that, yeah, we're going to fight. So we signed up, we went in. Vexus made the guard extremely comfortable around him. His small talk was absolutely impeccable. But yeah, the guard showed us in. After the guard showed us in, we got given our own room with some dry blood and all that stuff. You know, gifts from the last people. And while we were sitting in that room, we overheard two people, which sadly I don't have my notes up once again because I can't get them up. One was a gladiator, one seemed to be the dealer. So Vexus ended up doing a divine sense and sense basically a fiend within 60 feet. So Vexus won the party, but after hearing these two argue and about this person basically being like, we have a contract, you know, you're going to be big and famous one day, Vexus has put two and two together. Hopefully he's right. But they ended up figuring out that Vexus was listening in. Vexus talked to them. It was a good time. Nothing bad happened. Then we went to go fight. We fought two Displacer beasts. Didn't get hit a single time. Killed them, and that's when I had to dip for the session. So that's my recap. Hooray! Inspiration. Yay! All right.
Yeah, let me. I'm just gonna add like a few more details as to like last session and everything like that, just to fill everyone in. So basically, as we walk up to the Coliseum, we decide to place a side bet on ourselves using the help of Leah. And basically, we realize that we can't bet. We either need to compete or bet. So after we decide we're gonna fight, we have Leah bet for us under my little fucking alias, Rachel Green. So I need to go check that out today. And then besides that, the main thing is as we were closing out was basically after we finished killing the two displacer beasts and end up like back in our little cell after and getting our like spoils and whatever. We end up getting a knock on the door and we end up encountering Lucretia again. And that is where we left off last week.
Very well said. Go ahead and take inspiration there, Tiffany. Now, Augustus, I know that you were absent for last session, but anything you'd like to add about the general state of play?
No.
Very fair. In that case, let's
Not
pick up
sure.
here exactly where we've left off, as the party currently occupies that one dim barracks room within the Bloodworks beneath the Arena of Honor here within Nyanzaru. you are fresh from your battle with the Displacer Beasts, or the Shadow Cats, as you'd heard them referred to. Not an adventuring party, as it turns out, but shadowy cats. As you have been given your winnings by Arena Master Almergo, Tiffany, I believe that you had a couple of successful insight checks, as you can still feel that slight throbbing of pain in your neck from where the poison dart hit you from the stands. Yet your confrontation with this individual confirmed it to you. The party, having refused further offers of arena combat or chances for glory at the moment, as you were preparing to leave, you see the slim form of the woman that you saw speaking earlier to the gladiator known as Oran Vas. Lucretia, she introduced herself as. You can see that she has tightly wrapped blonde hair, very unusual for this Cholton climate, as well as a long green satin dress, which must be stifling in heat like this, though she wears it without so much of a bead of sweat on her forehead. As she enters, she says, once again, a stunning performance. It's very clear that your ambitions are attainable here within Nyanzaru. I would like to help in whatever way I can, because I think a partnership could be very beneficial between our parties.
I don't know. I think I got this. I mean, I got 8 big, strong muscles. Nexus flex. Plus, I'm sorry, lady, but Mr. Banana's already taken up the spot as my manager.
She looks at you with a chortling grin and says, Mr. Banana? Must be a new member of preeminence in Chol. I would love an opportunity to make his acquaintance.
He's a busy man. Managing me and all. He's making sure I'm getting my full roaches every day.
Ah. Well, strong as your 8 arms may be, I think that you will find that you expend a great deal of energy flailing them in the wrong direction, unless you have some idea of what makes the gears turn here in Port Nyanzaru. You're all very clearly capable individuals. I'm just curious about what it is you want in this fair city, and whether I could help you achieve it.
I want a statue. I also, I want a. No, I have known you long enough. I can't tell you that.
She raises an eyebrow in interest at that comment, but turns to the rest of the party to see if there's any response.
I mean, after that like first round of questioning from her, I want to turn to her basically when she's like basically referencing the concept of like being able to help us and go like, so what makes you think you're the person to help us?
She looks at you and
We
says,
clearly have something you want.
nothing in particular that I want at this moment, but I find myself very well connected here in Shoal. I suppose that you could call me a socialite. I run from here in the bloodworks to the high boxes overseeing the races to the cool villas of the merchants' quarter. My company is very agreeable. At least many find that to be so. I am wealthy as well informed, and I think that in combination with those who are strong of arm, such as yourselves, makes for a very formidable partnership in any number of endeavors.
Nexus is gonna look at her, and just say, I have a question for you.
By all means.
He kind of skitters up a little bit closer.
Unlike many,
Not like right in her face, but like skitters up closer.
unlike many of the residents of Nyanzaru who have recoiled from your arachnoid form, she simply smiles toward you and does not even adjust her posture.
Earlier, and I apologize if I'm being rude, but I smelt a fiend earlier, and I think it's you.
She looks at you and says, "What would make you think that?"
Fiends like their deals, their contracts, and stuff like that. You signed a lot of contracts. And, you know, as a man of the law and a good boy, as my mother would put it, I have to tell you the truth. I listened into your conversation with your gladiator. Seems like you got him tightly wrapped in a contract.
She looks toward you, blinks, and says, "Well, you may be even more useful than I had first anticipated." That's a fair assessment. But on the subject of one's fiendish nature, she looks you up and down and says, "Most fear spiders as well, but I'm certain you would agree that there's nothing inherently evil in you."
I don't know. Everybody's got a bad bone here and there. I went through a bad boy stage in my younger years.
As we cut to Vexus riding all 8 arms on a gnomish motorcycle, Pompadour blowing in the wind,
Cigarette in his mouth.
with the flame of the cigarette reflected in his compound eyes. Okay. She looks toward you and says, "If you're this well informed about my nature, then I think that it's fair to say that you stand on more advantageous ground than most when it comes to dealing with me. And I am not dishonest. The nature of devils is one of agreements. One's soul is not one's bond, but one's word. And you will find that I do not renege upon mine."
So, I'm not good with words. Are you a fiend or are you not a fiend?
She looks toward you and says, "I am."
Well, you know the first step to recovering is honesty.
She looks toward the rest of the party for their impressions.
Yeah, I'm sitting trying to like hold my tongue as much as possible in like the back as this conversation is occurring.
Augustus is quite uncomfortable with this lack of tact, if you will.
Mm.
Panlore snoozes, head nestled deeply into Fluffy, but the sheep, you can see, is shaking slightly at the knees.
I have a possible deal. Not one that I'll bargain my soul to, but a deal.
I have no interest in your souls.
Oh, that's good.
I have interest in the strength of your many arms, the weight of your silver tongue, the steadfastness of that rabbit's back, and the... Well, she kind of looks up and down from Panlore and says, "I'm just interested to see what hidden depths he has."
So, what's your offer?
She looks toward you and says, "Well, I have none currently, unless you have ambitions. A reward is commensurate with the price that is paid for it. And I'm simply curious what you seek within this place, other than a statue, as you say. You were not the first to come to me with such ambitions. Oren Voss's bloodlust runs deep, though Recently, he seems to be sated upon that flavor.
Sorry, what did she say?
He says that
The last part.
recently he seems to be sated upon that flavor.
You know, they say when you get older, you choose other life paths. He might just be choosing another life path.
Indeed. And certainly, he will be at his liberty to pursue whatever path he chooses once the letter of his contract is fulfilled.
And might I ask what his contract is?
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Damn it. Sad days.
With a 13, she says, I would not betray his trust or confidence in that way, though it should suffice to say that when he was a younger man, he swore that he would not stop spilling blood until he had achieved a fame unlike any gladiator that has stood in the arena before him.
Well, currently, our ambitions, I would like to keep mine to myself. At the current moment, of course, until we gain more trust between each other. But if he needs help in the arena, just give Vexus a call. I don't mind joining him if he needs me to.
She considers that offer for a moment, but does not directly respond to it. Instead, she turns her gaze to the group at Broad and says, May I ask an impertinent question of my own?
Go for it.
Augustus just nods.
You speak of contracts. You speak of their danger. Yet, I can smell the scent of heavy magic on your souls. Something cloyingly sweet. Venomously so. What is the nature of the creature you serve? Is it by will? By impressment? Do you seek to be free of it?
See Tiffany's eyes dilate. Ears free of it.
That's what that catches me. After she says that line, I'm gonna go, well, what would switching one contract for another equal anyway?
Well, to regain one's soul through acts of service is quite different than to lose one's soul through a bargain, wouldn't you say? My ambitions are worldly, not otherworldly. That's precisely why I've retired to this place. Wealth, information, comfort. These things are not to be found in the hells. And your souls are no currency that I can spend here.
I know, she's a nice lady. I like her. I did it by will. Not by being forced.
She smiles toward you and says, I'm glad to hear that. It would be a shame to see anyone hurt you. I think you're very nice as well.
No, sound like my mother. Thank you. Not implying that you're old. I mean, are you old? Probably not. Maybe.
Augustus is holding himself back from face palming.
She looks toward you, smiles sweetly, and says, You should never ask a woman her age.
Oh, and spiders, it just means you got more wisdom, and you figure out possibly how many sacks they've had. Different cultures.
You should probably also avoid asking humanoid women about how many sacks they've had.
Oh, I know humanoid women can't give up sacks, but from what I hear from evil spiders, their bodies are great to hard to put their sacks in. Keeps them warm.
Perhaps another subject. She looks back toward the rest of the group. She's gonna make an insight check on y'all. A natural 14. Tiffany, are you trying to conceal your discomfort?
With Vex is talking about cutting people open slightly, but I'm not doing well.
I mean more regarding her comment about the contract that you made earlier.
I'm definitely trying to. I don't know whether I'm succeeding, but I'm definitely trying.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
Okay.
14
Yeah,
plus her
right.
modifier is a 22 that you need to beat.
Be a 22.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's only a +8. We could take her.
Well,
I'll roll mine as well, because
What are you trying to conceal, Augustus?
Tiffany can go first if she's trying to conceal anything. I was just getting the roll out.
No, very good. So, Tiffany, she looks toward you and says, "You seem uncomfortable, though not entirely with my presence. What worries you, dear? There are many comforts to be had within Nyanzaru. It is a place where freedom can be found. That could be true for you as well."
this place speaks of freedom, yet all I've ever heard of since I've been here is contracts. I don't know how much I believe that.
One's word is a valuable thing, and indeed, it is a city, much like the Hells, in that it functions upon the nature of agreement. Yet, for the most part, those who peddle such agreements here are of a much nobler nature. Wouldn't you say that there is freedom in following one's word, in making a decision and adhering to it? In fact, where else would you say that freedom could be found in all the vicissitudes of life?
Maybe somewhere like the Chilton Wilds?
Is that your interest, then?
I'm more interested in what you said. You speak of freedom as nothing more free than the wilds? Or you kind of disagree?
In some senses, perhaps, yet chaos is not freedom. Chaos is slavery to circumstance. To eat and be eaten, to kill and be killed, to... Have you ever seen the abysses, child? The creatures
No.
that dwell within there. I would advise you to avoid such knowledge. Yet, there is a freedom in carnage, perhaps, a freedom in hunger and slaking, a freedom in destruction, if you wish to call it that. Yet, she gestures toward the sunlight above the sound of the roaring crowds, and the sounds of violence neatly contained within this single arena. She says, "I think there is more freedom in joy, in prosperity, in progress, and in self-determination."
Okay, yeah. At this point, Tiffany like leans back to kind of like sit a little bit, and at this point, her face is pretty plain. Like it's fairly obvious to both her, Lucretia, and kind of everyone that there's something within this argument that's interesting to Tiffany. I'm not sure if they've figured it out yet, but definitely something that she's presenting here is obviously very appealing to me.
She turns her attention toward Augustus, and with her insight check there, Augustus, I think perhaps she notes an expression of rage or of irritation on your face when she mentions the idea of you having been impressed into this task.
No, I'm not actually upset about that.
Mhm.
I I come from a place where, fays often you may make a deal or offer gifts with, strings attached. And sometimes people get into situations where they don't fully understand the strings. Like if you're dying of thirst and the fae offers you some water, they just saved your life, and so your life is theirs, that sort of thing. You don't fully realize. So that's not what's setting me off. I'm just very, because of my like knowledge of deals and you know unforeseen consequences. When she's offering deals, I immediately become very wary, and I'm trying to like suss her out and see what I can tell about her. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to hide back. I'm trying to hide back that
You're squinting at
very
it.
clean there. I'm very keenly observing and listening to what she says.
Yeah, go ahead and make an
She
insight check
mentioned
of your own.
deals. Cool. And some of the things that I'm looking at is like her clothing in particular. Like, how is she dressed? Is it fine clothes or poor clothes?
They are very fine clothes, but it's notable that she is dressed in the style of a Waterdavian noblewoman, which Waterdeep, very much cooler climate than Nyanzaru here. She should be sweltering in this dress, but given what she's told you about her fiendish nature, the heat is apparently no problem for her.
And as far as like the appearance of the clothes, is it overstated, understated?
Understated, certainly.
Intentionally
understated. A few
not
fine,
intentionally seductive or anything like that.
not intentionally seductive, no.
But
a
fine
few,
quality clothes.
Yes, and again, her hair tight blonde bun, a few pieces of very elegant gold jewelry, like a 3-layer necklace and a few rings, like 3 rings between the 2 hands, all of which are very slim and slender with these intertwining patterns. She's also dressed in flats, so
Gotcha.
one with your 3 insight.
Probably don't notice much else besides the clothes.
What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 10.
Okay, with the 10, the one other thing that you would notice in these close quarters is that her fingernails, which are painted this sort of like dark gray verging on black, are very chipped at the ends of her left hand.
Gotcha. Okay, so what did she ask me again? Sorry, she directed a question at me, I think.
She hadn't actually questioned you yet. We were just going through those checks. But she looks toward you and says, "By your bearing, I take you for nobility. I would take it also, then, that you are here of your own free will. An act of service, perhaps? Or the pursuit of your own honor?"
I find the two often are the same. Duty brings honor, or proper service to, one's duty is an honor.
Would you honor me with the name of your liege in that case?
At this point, I know it's probably futile, and the other two would shout it out at the first moment. So I provide the name. I forgot the name.
The dusky lady.
I need to write
She's gonna make a history check on that. With the 10, you can see a moment of hesitation on her face as she runs the name over her lips. Perhaps familiar, though it doesn't appear to be one that she has a great deal of knowledge of. She says, "Very good. I appreciate your honesty." You can hear the sound of a roar above from the crowd as someone claims victory. She looks toward the party and says, "Forgive me. That is my cue. I must tend to the wounds of my champion, if he has any. Forgive me for cutting our first meeting short," but she reaches into a very small clutch that she wears, not a clutch, thin, dangly gold chain, like kind of black clamshell, reaches into it and produces a small origami bird with a bright blue and pink pastel pattern. And as she blows on it, it unfolds back into a sheet of paper. And she offers it to whoever is foremost in the party and says, "If you ever have need, simply send word. Write a message upon the paper. Speak my name. It will find me."
Oh, okay. Immediately Vex's like reach out his hand. Okay. And let me know if he ever wants a tag team, switch it up. I'll bring his who can make a competition? Who could spill more blood? Maybe he'll get his groove back.
"I'll certainly make the offer."
Okay. Goodbye. As soon as she leaves, Vex just shuts the door.
Yeah, as she makes her exit.
You skitter around. Skitter around the room very nervously. Oh, fiends. Can't trust fiends.
Yeah, at that point I'm just gonna turn to Vexus and be like, I would recommend against fighting with Oron. I have a feeling if that competition were to take place, one of you would probably be the blood spilled.
Oh, you think so?
Just a hunch.
I just feel like Oren needs a friend right now. And he tried to give me props earlier. He likes me.
That's why I lean back and let him continue with the thought. Like, you know what? Yeah, y'all will fight together. Let's go.
So, as the party stands within this dimly lit chamber, the door closed, you can occasionally still hear the sounds of pained gladiators, or of that big one-eyed half-orc shouting commands. Yet, you have your privacy, for the moment, at least, before this room is required by someone else. You have the city of Nyanzaru before you. You also have several offers to consider, several possibilities to pursue. What would you like to do now?
How much should we get for our winnings?
250 gold pieces.
250, okay. So we just split that 4 ways?
Yeah.
4 ways, that'd be what, 62.5 GP?
Okay, yeah. Then I'll pass that out to everyone.
Vex starts to sweat. A lot of money.
Hey, remember your cut for your manager.
Yeah, he opens up where he keeps his roaches, his snack pack, which is once again the ball of webs, opens it up, and the banana spider just vibing inside. He's like, "All right, Mr. Banana, you're the bank manager now. Here you go."
Mr. Banana hisses protectively and wards you off with two of his 4 limbs as you go to place the gold coin in his webbing.
Yes, this is for you. Vexus will put one in the arms. There you go. Been paid for your service.
It scuttles over the gold piece and protectively cradles it beneath its legs as it begins to spin it into its web.
You see, he's a good manager. And Vexus will close it back up. And he'll say, "Well, I guess we should go to the docks and wait by the docks for nighttime. I need to spin a new web anyway."
Sounds good by me. Would we want to stop by a shop on the way? Though we have some money.
I have a couple of items I'd like to purchase and a deposit I'd like to make at the bank. Or at the temple.
And I also... Do we want to possibly meet at the docks and do a quick little run around for what we need to do? Because I also need to do my, finish up everything with the betting for the Coliseum as well.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I know.
can run a few errands.
Vexus will follow whoever wants him to follow, basically. I can see Tiffany and Augustus splitting off like separate ways, and Maxis is like in the middle, like, oh. If I go
Guys,
with
I
one, the other one might think I like them more. But if I go with the other one, it might think I like them less.
You guys need an 8-armed baby leash for Vexes.
Oh my god, literally. We'll see if we can find one in the shop.
So Panlore wakes up just long enough from the back of Fluffy to say, "Oh, did we win then?
Yes, we did, Panlore.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna take an early night tonight. I'm gonna go, check in on Leah at Kaya's house of repose. Because repose sounds really nice right about now."
Okay.
He lies back upon the fluff of his robot sheep and kind of flickers at the tail with the hand like someone trying to reach the snooze button on an alarm clock and slaps it. And then Fluffy begins moving off toward home.
Okay, dope.
So,
Really
Go on.
quickly, Tiffany, yeah. I'm thinking, basically, for Tiffany, I just want to, like, find any type of corner where I can be, like, completely, like, obscured. That's the main thing I need to do right now.
you guys have your complete privacy, or do you mean from the party as well?
No, the party can see, but, from everyone else, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have complete privacy in this barracks room that I believe you are still in within the Bloodworks.
Oh, it's still in the barracks. Okay, got it. Yeah. Are we all good to, like, do our little split up and get everything done? Before we run to the docks?
Yeah, that sounds like a tip-top plan.
Okay, dope. And do y'all want to meet at the docks, or do you want to meet at, the shop? Because my thing's just going to take, like, 5 minutes, and I know you just need to run by the bank.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up a bottle of whiskey for tonight.
Oh, fine. Okay, so yeah, then, let's do that, and then we can meet at the shop and get everything.
Very good. And did you have some activity that you needed to be obscured for, or?
No, we need to be out of the Bloodkeep area before I can do my plan.
Gotcha. So, in that case, it sounds like the party splits up, heads their separate ways for about 6 hours of downtime until midnight at the docks, yeah?
Good.
Very good. Give me just 2 seconds to run to the bathroom, and we'll get right on that.
You're all good. I'm gonna do the same.
Water.
All right, we're back on the phone. The internet is once again shit out. Ben, I think you're muted.
All right, I'm back. All right, Schwick, you good? I guess he ran for a second too.
My internet shit out again. So back on the phone.
Hey. Oh, did you cut out there for a second?
Yeah, I cut out at the point where Augustus was buying whiskey and Tiffany was looking for an obscure place.
Yeah, no, that's all that happened. I just said, yeah, give me 2 seconds to run to the bathroom, and Doll said she was going to do the same. So I would guess Schwick probably ran out too.
I went to get water and I just got back.
Very nice. We'll give Doll just 1 sec, and remember you're muted, Doll, if you are there.
God, I hate collagen mints so much.
All right. Let's see. I think we can kick off either Augustus or Vexus's downtime while Doll is coming back from the bathroom. Which of y'all would like to go first? You've got about 6 hours until your quote-unquote appointed meeting at the docks.
Oh. Vexus doesn't really have too much that he exactly wants to do. Vexus is going to go looking for rumors of seeing if there's any giant spiders around or close by that people want them to get rid of, or if somebody has a spider infestation.
Oh, he's so cute.
All right, Ward. Where would you like to go looking for such rumors? What kind of place?
I feel in Nyanzaru being the place that it is, I feel like Vexus is like going into like if there's guilds there, like mercenary guilds, and like seeing if anybody's heard about any kind of like giant spiders moving in, or just like, or he's visiting like old ladies and being like, "Do you have a spider infestation? Let me help."
So 2 places. You want to visit mercenary guilds and you want to visit old ladies.
Yeah.
The duality of man. Okay, I love it. Go ahead and give me a charisma-based investigation check, please. Or a persuasion check.
I'm gonna roll on my phone.
Okay, yeah.
Or did you already roll?
No, I didn't roll already. I forgot you're on your phone. But you're welcome to roll on your phone. That's fine.
Bet. I will. Yeah, charisma-based what? Investigation check?
Yep, or a persuasion check, whichever one's better for you.
Oh, persuasion. Always persuasion. We got a 13.
Alright, 13's not bad. So, you stop by a rather seedy-looking tavern within the market ward known as the Thundering Lizard. You look inside, you can see that there's a bar fight going on, and from what you know about human behavior, that means that there are probably adventurers there. Adventurers are mercenaries, and you make your way in, and you start asking around, and Vexus, it's a lot of the same behavior as usual. The old Goliath bartender refuses to serve you or let you sit at the bar. You're getting the cold shoulder as you go up and interrupt card games in order to try to ask about spiders. And you're beginning to get some rather rude stares. When you see this old one-armed dwarf that with very ruddy brown skin, tons of freckles on his face, and a bloodshot expression in his eyes. You can see that his right arm has been hewn off just above the elbow, but he's, with his other hand, slamming back ales. And as this Goliath bartender refuses to serve you, he looks over toward him and says,
"Hey, what's wrong with him? He hasn't done a single thing to offend anyone. There's weirder shite out than that out in the chopping jungle. And hell, I've shared drinks with some of it too."
The Goliath kind of rolls his eyes and just goes back moves away on the bar to serve someone else. This old dwarf looks toward his half-finished tej and slides it in your direction and says,
"No one should have to be sober on a day this fucking hot. Wet your whistle, courtesy of Hugh Hackenstone."
Oh, thank you, Hugh. I appreciate this. Vexus pulls out his typical canteen roach, puts the head off, pours the drink in, puts the head back on, and puts the roach in his fangs, because it's easier for him to drink that way.
Hugh looks toward you and says,
"Hey, I got one of those to share. That's a culinary
You want to go?
Aye, that's a culinary experience I haven't had in a few years. Makes a hell of a good bar snack."
Oh, Vexus hands him a roach.
he,
I see.
without any hesitation, crunches the head off of it, sucks out the innards, just like your mama taught you to do.
This is not his mate.
Oh, you must know of the great Cocoon Mother then.
Hey, who's that? Sorry.
The Cocoon Mother. It's she's a great. I'm told about her by the elders. She's a god. When you die, you go to the great cocoon and you're reborn as a new spider. You must have been a spider in your past life.
Don't believe much in the god talk at all, but if it makes you feel better, I've met some of your kind before. Aye.
Oh, you did? Where? I'm looking for them.
He says,
Very far from here. He says, out and away of Thintia. Few decades ago, long before I left the Sword Coast.
Oh, so they're not here?
Could be. All manner of creatures in the jungle. Met a few other talking insect-like folk, but never did come across one quite like you.
it's been, he thinks about it for a second.
Near on 25 years I've been out in Nyanzaru and in the wilds, but can't say I met one like you. Plenty of giant spiders out there, mind, just not particularly hospitable creatures.
Oh, that's just because they've been treated poorly. I'm gonna show them the new light.
You're telling me you're intending to travel into the wilds, then?
Yep.
I can tell you from experience there's a damn fool thing to do, unless you've got some true cause for it. There's no reason for a nice chap like yourself to move into the green and get eaten by some bastards that just happen to have as many legs as you.
Oh no, I'm okay. I'm pretty good at taking care of myself, fighting and whatnot.
How are you?
I was in the gladiator ring. I fought 2 kitty cats.
Kitty cats. You're talking tigers or kamadans or displacers?
Oh, they had some weird tentacles. They were like shimmering in and out.
Aye, that'd be displacer beasts then. There's them in the jungles as well. Well, you said you survived the encounter. Were you much wounded?
No, they did hit me once, and they're both. Vax just kind of sheds a tear. They're both dead now.
Now, were you fighting alone against displacer beasts, or do you have a crew?
Oh, I got a crew.
Are they all?
But, on the front lines.
Are they all equally as appendagedly blessed as you are, or?
No. One of them likes fashion. It is quite nice. She's kind of leads the group. The other one's a tiny rabbit boy. I don't understand his accent yet, but he talks a lot about the queen. And I don't exactly know who the queen is. And then there's a sleepy one. He likes to nap, and sometimes I nap with him.
You sound like a fair party. Now tell me, did you all come here with the intention of finding spiders, or what's your plan out in the wilds?
We're gonna go into the wild, and we're gonna clear a spot out, and we're gonna explore the wild of Nyanzaru. Or Schultz.
Just to see
Yeah.
it? Just
No, all Schultz.
Oh, hold on. You mean, when you say clear a spot out, you mean like permanent encampments or what?
Yep.
That's certainly a thought. Mapping out the wilds. Now, you said every square inch of it. You know how big a continent this is.
I'm okay with numbers.
That makes
But
sense.
if you could remind me.
He stretches his arm and half of an arm as wide as he can, tottering drunkly on the bar stool as he does so.
It's big.
Well, that's good. Spiders need a lot of places to go.
I like your ambition. You know, there's plenty of treasure out in those wilds. Plenty of things to be found, and if you're mapping it, Well, that's valuable information, too.
Oh, I got some treasure. Vexus pulls out his bamboo seeds. I got seeds.
He takes a look
The
at
treasure of the land.
With a 7 and his nature mod of 8, with a 15, I think he recognizes bamboo seeds as he looks toward them and he says,
I'd take to this country's soil like bamboo. What do you intend to do with that?
Well, spiders, bamboo is one of the best materials for spiders to make their home. I'm gonna plant these seeds and make my home.
You're talking about agriculture in the jungles of Cholt.
Yep.
I like your ambition. Settlements, agriculture, information. Well, I've been here 25 years and it seems like lands get wilder and wilder with each season.
Oh, you want to know something crazy? They're gonna build me a statue.
The spiders.
No, the city. I'm a gladiator fighting for a statue.
Well, that's something I'd like to see.
he says,
If you have need of a guide, then find me. Like I said, the name's Hugh Hackenstone. I know
Hugh Hackenstone.
I know these lands well.
he looks toward his injured arm and says,
And given part of myself to them as well. And if there's an expedition you're mounting, it sounds like something I'd like to be a part of.
Okay.
he says, as he stands up rather unsteadily and retrieves a massive broad axe that was leaning against the bar stool. He says,
I'm a sort of a gladiator as well, I suppose. He says, if you'd like to come see me work, you can find me down at the Executioner's Run in the old city this evening. Got
Oh, is there a lot of spiders down there?
not a lot of spiders. Unless that's what old Poe sees to set loose into the pit that evening. Could be. Be serendipitous after meeting you, wouldn't it? Yeah. I got a debt to settle. No other way to do it. So, I suppose...
say what?
Well, there was a saying back with the elders, if you have a debt and you can't pay it, find somewhere else to live where they can't find you.
Well, if your expedition is leaving before dark, then I would certainly consider that. Otherwise, I'm gonna need to use some of my kneecaps for the rest of the week here in Nyanzaru, so I should probably get to it.
Well, if you ever need help fighting anybody, just give Vexus a call.
Well, just so happens I could use a bit of help today, aye?
Oh, okay, I can help. I have
Sundown.
nothing planned.
Sorry, I came unmuted.
He says,
10 bells. I'm scheduled for me trial and summary execution, if you can call it that. Not sure what sort of beast old Poe's got planned up this time, but he's seen me crawl out of that pit enough that I get the sense he's getting tired of it, if you follow my feeling. I could use a good second, and if you
Why?
can...
say what?
Why is there 10 bells?
10 bells in the evening. Evening, child.
Oh, okay.
Which, translated to common, is 10 o'clock, right?
Oh, it doesn't actually? I didn't even know that.
I thought you were just
RP, when RP is IRL.
But yeah, so essentially, 10 o'clock in the evening, Executioner's Run, he's going to be put on trial. And, yeah, he could always use a second.
Yeah, okay. Could I ask you for a favor if I do you this favor?
That would be natural, wouldn't it?
There's a little girl and her brother's missing. And you said you've tracked these lands and guided these lands. if I gave you some information and you get out of this trial, is there a chance you could possibly track him down if we can't find him?
Certainly. I'm good at finding prey. Well, this isn't exactly prey, but you get my meaning.
Yep. I get it. I like trapping prey, not tracking prey.
It's a little bit easier for me when it's following footsteps instead of talking to strangers. But I get the sense that might be the same for you as well.
Yeah. I'm good at talking to people. A lot of people like me. See, those guys over there playing the cards? They didn't invite me because they knew how good I was.
It's probably for the best they didn't invite you. If you lose, they take all your money, and if they win, they probably take you out back and squish you.
Oh, Mr. Banana has all my money.
Mr. Banana. Never mind. I'm gonna be late for my own fucking execution, and that would just be a shame.
Alright, see you at the execution, I'll be there.
He extends his left hand in order to shake whichever one of your many arms you wish to.
He's got like, so even though Vexus has a lot of arms, his hands are really small. So like, he like stick two hands probably fit in his hand, and he puts the other two hands over his other hand and shakes.
How does you having tiny hands somehow make that so much worse? I don't understand it. Yeah, very good. he takes both of your hands in his grasp and gives it the solid pump and begins to positively stumble out of the front door of the Thundering Lizard.
Oh, wait. I wonder if I could, as a good gesture of favor, hold on. I feel since alcohol is technically poison, right? Would I have used these 5 lay on hand points to remove his poison condition?
Do you just like rush up and touch him, or what?
Not during the shake.
During the shake?
Yeah.
As you do that, you see a look of abject horror come over his face.
Oh, see you later.
No, you feel his hand tighten around you, and he says,
Did you just kill a dwarf's buzz without his permission?
I don't know, what's a buzz? You don't buzz, do you? That bees that could buzz.
He starts breathing heavily. As you see a vein on his forehead begin to twitch. His muscles begin to tighten a little bit, and he says,
You're gonna order me 3 rounds of Forever Clear right now, and you're not gonna touch me again without my permission, you understand that?
Oh, okay. How much is 3 rounds?
As you hail down the Goliath bartender, you get the sense that shots should not be 10 gold pieces apiece, but that is what he insists on for you to drink at this establishment.
You know, he is a struggling bartender. Max just gives up 30 gold.
Oh my god!
Which, one day ago would have been your entire life savings.
Oh, thank God we did the Coliseum. We would have had like a whole episode of you working back your fucking tab at the bar.
So, Hugh Hackenstone slams down those 3 shots of Forever Clear, which, as a reminder, is 200% alcohol by volume. They use dimensional pockets to add alcohol molecules to the alcohol molecules. He gets to the point, he looks a little more sloshed than he was, but all of that rage abates as he looks toward you and says,
You're alright. For a fucking idiot, you're alright. I look forward to dying in the jungle with you.
Won't be much time. There'll be more homemaking.
as he is experimentally swinging that broad axe around as he stumbles out into the streets of Nyanzaru. Vexus, I think you've got some information. It sounds like you've got an appointment. Any other very small activities you want to do with your downtime?
Yeah, Vexus is going to start his extermination business, as he's not actually going to kill the spiders, but he's going to knock on every single door, like annoying Mormons trying to get you to follow Jesus.
Alright, on that note...
Say, do you have any spiders you want to get rid of? I'll take them off your hands.
Oh my god. Vexus, we'll check in later. We'll check in later to see how your extermination business is doing. Tiffany, Augustus, what have y'all been up to?
So leaving the Coliseum, is the inn that we're staying at, or is that closer to us than the temple, or is the temple on the way?
I'm sorry, which temple?
The Joaquin's temple.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
banking
No,
one.
I was my bad. I had bank in my head, and I'm like, wait, what gods are we fucking?
Yeah, yeah, I was trying.
It's very convenient.
I was like,
actually.
oh no, I gotta get back.
No, both the Temple of Joaquin and the and Kaya's House of Repose are both located within the Merchant's Ward, so they are quite close to each other.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna stop back first and change into my dress clothes, and drop off some of everything but my most like ceremonial shit, and then I'm gonna go to the temple. How much would I? So my main thing that I'm gonna try and buy is a bottle of whiskey that's like would be considered good quality by almost anybody, but is is good enough for like even high class people to be like, oh yeah, that's a good, like, I'll take you up on that offer if I were to offer it to somebody. It wouldn't be like disrespectful, but it's also maybe not like like, oh my gosh, hide the that whiskey or only break out for special occasions.
Yeah, that's a good question. So here, what's your budget for such a purchase? Because that will change, change the provenance and quality.
Wait, really quickly. Also, I'm just gonna walk with Augustus back to the inn, but I'm gonna do different stuff after that.
Okay, cool. Any conversations y'all have along the way?
Let me think. I think the main thing is I definitely am gonna be like, I'm trying to like learn a little bit about Augustus, so that like, because I'm trying to learn a little bit about everyone in the party just in general, and also I'm trying to think. Actually, wait, yeah. Okay. As we're walking, I want to kind of be like, damn, I'm so stupid. One second, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. This is gonna be such a bad sector, but I'm just basically gonna be like, so what are your opinions on the dino races?
What do we know about the dino races besides that they're like kind of all the rage? Are they flying? Are they running? What's the?
From what you've gathered from your brief discussions with that Cholton noble couple, it sounds like it's a bit of a roller derby, really. It sounds like, and from what you guys have overheard within Kaya's House of Repose, because it's a frequent topic of conversation, yeah, flying, running, swimming as well, and from what it sounds like, almost every single week, almost like the running of the bulls, some sort of violence erupts. It can get a little bit dangerous. Yeah, dangerous for those who are occupying the street level and observing this event. It sounds like the dinosaurs, while not allowed to outright injure each other, are certainly allowed to interfere with each other. And winning jockeys are spoken of with almost an equal reverence to recent winners within the Ring of Honor.
Got it. And have we gotten any idea of how long this has been going on? Is it like a, steeped in tradition, or is it like relatively recent?
Make a history check.
Ooh. I'm okay at those.
I feel like you should be. Very nice. With a 20, you can see the many bronze statues which dot the skyline of Port Nyanzaru. There is none larger than that of the Cholton noble standing with its hand upon the what are they called? It's not a velociraptor. Yes, standing with its hand upon the neck of the Deinonychus. You get the sense that the intertwining of human and sauroid life within this city is probably as old as its very roots. you would imagine that an event like this, as thoroughly intertwined as it is with the local culture, is something that probably everyone has grown up with and has had an opinion on in their families and has been a large part in their weekly ritual for generations and generations.
In that case, I'm ecstatic about it, and I would like to. The fact that we were able to participate as like walk-in guests like that makes me feel like I want to participate in the, the thing. So I explained that. That's the vibe you get from the way I explained it. Of course, he's much more, proper about how he explains it, but.
But yeah, I would honestly like, yeah, I agree. I think we should definitely find a way to get involved. And I basically just want to like plant that seed of like, let's find a way to get into these little dino races real quick. Me and Augustus. About to fucking win this shit.
That's exactly what I was thinking, and I tell you that I'm trying to plan, or I'm planning on grabbing a nice bottle of whiskey, and then hopefully enough to smooth people and get some information.
Ooh, that is smart. And I'm basically just gonna be like, yeah, that's smart. I'm trying to think. And yeah. That's the only thing I want to ask about, is I just want us to start thinking of ideas and have that like back and forth so that we can get some shit done during Dino Bet season. Because it's like an end of week, right?
It is. You guys have had one day here so far, so you've still got another 9 days until this event takes place.
Perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, my plan is to smooth people and try and get more information about the races, and if we can work our way in, then try and do that, and then also get more information about like what sort of any sort of information that can help with us either racing or with betting on the races. Some inside information, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm currently have a few ideas for the dino races, ranging from releasing them all to rigging them to me becoming a dinosaur with minor illusion. So we're gonna figure it out.
I mean, we could always dope some of the competitors' dinosaurs in the race that we're in.
Just give them like the crack dinosaur.
I mean, I'm proficient in poisons. I can probably make something that can make them, constipated or unconstipated, or
I thought y'all were gonna be heroes too.
Issues. I'm not explaining this out loud. I'm just saying these are the sort of things that are.
I know exactly.
So one thing I will remind you guys on the subject of betting is you got some pretty solid information on that a couple sessions ago, which is that though it's perfectly legal to bet, there's no like governmental lottery sponsor that does that. All bets on these races are private. Any notarization of the bet is also done privately, and any collection is a private matter.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get some good whiskey so we could try and find, people that are gonna be good for the money.
You'll do the shoes and I'll do the rigging.
So, on the subject of good whiskey, you guys would be making your way past the Grand Souk, which is the largest market within Nyanzaru. Timber, spices, medicines, everything that you could possibly imagine is being traded here, from mundane to magical goods, from the manufactured to the raw. It's a circus of aromas, of noise, of bustling customers and children playing. It is the heart of Nyanzaru in many ways. Just about anything you could think of can be found here, and if not found here, someone can tell you where to find it. On the subject of whiskeys, what's your budget, and what sort of experience are you looking for?
As far as budget, I don't really know what the range is, but I think Augustus would have an idea. And that's kind of what I was like trying to ask. Like, I want to get something that is good enough that I can port for just about anyone in the city, and they'd be, it wouldn't be disrespectful to anyone.
Just about anyone in the city, and it wouldn't be disrespectful. Not necessarily.
But there might be some people that are like either connoisseurs or more snobby, and there's a level, maybe a level above this, but this is going to be considered good whiskey by just about anybody.
So something that's notable is that whiskey is de facto going to be an import from the Sword Coast here, as it is not brewed within Nyanzaru. One of the only alcohols that's brewed within Nyanzaru, thanks to its climate and thanks to its generally toxic flora, is that honeyed brew known as tej, which is sometimes further distilled into a watery substance known as fire swill. In fact, for that reason, alcohol imports from the Sword Coast are one of the larger imports in Nyanzaru, especially by its upper class. So, as you go looking for whiskey, are you looking for human, dwarven, some of that insane furball mash that they brew up in the hills, or something that could knock a Goliath stone dead? And when it comes to the subject of being able to offer it to anyone in the city, is there a certain palate that you are hoping to appease? And are you looking for this to be an impressive offering, or simply one that it would be rude to refuse?
So as far as would I, having grown up in the Fae, would I know the different qualities of, or the characteristics of human versus dwarf or whatever whiskey? I guess I should ask that first.
You are a member of the nobility, and I think that this is always a subject of interest amongst the upper crust, is to debate the qualities of the finer life. Go ahead and make me... What should this be? What kind of check should this be?
Society check.
I'm thinking... I think this is a history check with advantage.
With advantage?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pop that on.
Okay, with the 15, as you consider it, you know that the racial provenance of such alcohols are generally less important than their overall quality, but there is a statement to be made with the proffer of any given culture's preferred drink. There's a natural association with dwarven whiskies of the strong, the overbearing, and of course that aged excellence of elven whiskies with an airiness, a lightness. And as you consider the possibilities, you think that for the merchants of Cholt, who are predominantly human, it would probably be best to choose something that is inherently exotic, as this alcohol is in this city to begin with. As you consider further possibilities of price range and of provenance, eventually you sort of think on something that would be really truly exotic to offer to these human merchants. Probably a tiefling whiskey seems best to you. And you remember your days back when before you were, of course, a brigadier, but back when you were still in your jackboots, of this delicious, potent substance known as 5-alarm Fireball, which has a delightful cinnamon finish to it and is not too expensive to purchase. As you go hunting the Grand... Is this the substance you'd like to go hunting the Grand Souk for?
I'm torn between that and the Elven, which might appeal to Augustus's palate more.
Probably would, yeah.
And might distinguish his own provenance and taste as opposed to like what... It may not be what the people are most into, but it might set him apart as something else. And what would be the price point difference between the two of the tiefling and the... Like, what can I expect to pay for considering the import?
So, considering the import price, and what size of decanter are you looking for here? Are you looking like for a full Boda, or just like?
I'm looking for, like 750 mils, like
Got you.
a bottle. Yeah,
So
like a bottle.
that'd be 35 gold pieces for the tiefling whiskey, and it would be a solid 65 for the elvish.
Jesus.
It's okay. I just spent 30 gold on 3 shots. It's worth it.
The bargain.
I was spending all our money on liquor.
I mean, you're not a fan.
I didn't know I was
if
back
you
in
don't do that
Texas.
At least once.
Literally.
Gotcha. So the Elvish would be a bit of a flex in the town. Then,
Definitely.
Right.
Definitively. so.
Gotcha.
I mean, 65 gold
Okay.
pieces is more than the average layman makes in a year.
Fuck it. I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm looking for the Elvish.
Very good. As you get ready to show up to dinner parties with that $70,000 bottle of wine. That's a very useful diplomatic tool, and I don't mean to understate it at all.
It's gonna pay dividends.
I think so.
Just gotta be strategic about when it's deployed and conserve it.
I have purchased advantage on future charisma-based checks.
Yeah.
Now you gotta balance yourself out. You walk around Vexus, disadvantage. $70,000 wine, advantage. You balance it out.
Yeah. Well, if I do this and then let Tiffany do the talking, I think we've got a good end with pretty much anybody. So I'm gonna do it.
Yes.
Tiffany, any purchases that you're looking to make while you're within the market here?
Okay, so I'm gonna zoom back to the market. Basically, while Augustus is getting alcohol, my main thing is I want to run to the inn real quick, just because I need to talk to Leah real quick.
Very good. So, as you head into the inn, to your relief, you do still see the black curls of the short waif moving about, attending to the tables, bussing glasses, and taking orders from Kaya.
Okay, I'm basically gonna try and I'm gonna spend like a second monitoring her and try and see if she's like walking off to like a side area or something really quick, and basically just catch her as she's in that area.
Sure, as she goes to move and to deposit the glasses at the end of the bar, you catch her eye, and she looks up to you and says, with a clear look of relief, and says, "Huh, thank goodness, I take it you won then?"
I told you we'd make it just fine.
I'm really glad to hear that. I was worried about you all.
Of course. Don't worry, I was gonna come back regardless. You weren't gonna lose us that easily.
Well, I mean, hopefully come back in one piece, not too many new scars.
We actually came out pretty well for ourselves. So, it was a good day on call.
I placed the bet, like you said, for Rachel Green.
You did, perfect. Got this sheet or slip or anything? I'm about to go collect that money now, and then we have everything you need to go for your brother tonight.
She says, yeah, they gave me this. She reaches into her shift and produces...
Knew I had to go get a fucking slip. I knew it.
Yep. Good call. She produces a very thin slip, almost like one of the... I don't know if you guys have seen, like, wishing trees, like that tradition in Japan, but, like...
Yeah, the really, like, thin, papery ones.
Yeah. Produces one of those and hands it to you. You can see that's inscribed with a very flourishing purple ink, which you could only expect to be the work of Amerigo.
Yeah, literally.
That man is too gaudy for his own good.
Literally. Then... Okay, I was just gonna be like, thank you so much, and for holding up your part of the deal, here's this, and I want to hand her 10 gold pieces.
She looks toward you with a tearful expression of thanks, and she says, "Thank you. This is all I need. I can. Oh shit! I forget his fucking name right now. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
God damn it. 2 seconds. She says, "This is all I need to pay Davos. And hopefully he'll be able to find Leo. He says he can, and he's the only one who said that so far. So I just hope it's
Yeah. Don't worry about that, okay? Hold on to these 10 coins. We're still gonna go talk to Davos and find your brother." You don't need to worry about anything.
I mean, what should I do with these then?
Consider it an investment in a new life. Save it up, hide it somewhere in your room where you're staying at Kaya's. And in the future, if you want to get a new place, get some food, get new clothing, you'll at least have a starting point to go off of.
You can see 1,000 possibilities beginning to flash before her eyes, and she can't quite put it into words. She simply throws herself at you, hugging you tightly around your waist.
I hug her back. Aww.
She says, "Okay, I'll be here. I mean, Mistress Kaya has been very good to me so far. Even if she does expect me to move a little faster than my legs can carry me, I'll grow at some point."
Get faster as you grow, exactly.
It's just around that time that you hear another stern call of command from over at the bar. The one-armed woman continuing to work well into the night here, as you can hear the tap room beginning to fill with its evening patrons, the sound of music swelling as a new band of bards, tabaxi crew of fiddlers are beginning to tune up.
Okay, so as Kai calls back, I'm basically just going to say, get back to work. We'll be back later tonight. I'm going to...
She says, before or after midnight?
After.
Okay, I'll wait then. I'll keep a candle lit.
Thank you. Get back to work. No slacking now.
Very good. She gives you a small smile and scuttles back into the circulation of the tap room. Tiffany,
Yeah.
Augustus, both having returned to the inn at this point. Around this time, Augustus makes his way in. What next?
At this point, I'm just gonna head back towards the bedding, but first I do need to find a secure place so I can use disguise self.
Very good. You step into the little bard's room before leaving Kaya's house of repose, if that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
Augustus, you said you were making your way back to your inn room?
Yeah, I'm gonna take my acquisition back and stash it safely.
Very good. Stashing it in the back of your wardrobe as you move to change. I'm just curious, what do your fine clothes look like?
My fine clothes are a dress uniform, scarlet tunic, and midnight blue trousers. They're always crisply pressed. And then he has his officer's saber fit to his waist. And that's about it.
Very good, very smartly dressed, turning a few heads as you go out here for certain. Tiffany on the way back to the betting table at the Arena of Honor. Where are you headed?
Me, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna, in the little bard's room, I'm gonna use disguise self.
Oh,
Basically...
Excuse me one second.
Anything...
Regardless. Hey, what's up, Mom?
I love how you guys are making so much progress. While Vexus is like, yeah, I'll join you for your execution.
Oh, Vexus is joining him out to the death. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'm down.
Honestly, it'll be fun, but damn.
Apparently it doesn't take Vexus long to get into trouble.
No, you're fine. Have a lovely dinner tonight.
We fight like 8 display beasts this time. We're just like, screw it. I don't like, oh god.
Understandable.
Somehow Ben misses every single hit.
I know, we get out unscathed again, I would cry.
Nah, he's saving up his nat 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I need to go to the bathroom really quick.
Sorry, that was one of my alarms. Let me turn that off. But so basically, as I look in the mirror, I begin to transform into basically this standard kind of middle-class Chilton woman. So dark complexion, dark hair with like small bronze adornments throughout it. She's in like this yellow and orange like clothing. It's like traditional kind of like Chilton clothing, basically just trying to blend into the crowd. Like she's pretty, but unassumably pretty. She's like blend into the crowd. Okay, then yeah, I head towards Amargo and the betting tables. Mhm. Perfect. I'll wait there, and also while we can I do like either investigation or perception check. I just want to basically like do like a flat read of like who's around, what's happening around me. And with perception, I have boost though. My perception's plus. Okay, so 10. Not great. Perfect. I hand it to him. Yes. It was 8. Yes. Damn. Okay, perfect. Then I take my coins and take my leave away from Margo.
That one guard that fucking hates Vexus must be so pissed right now.
Oh, limp. Uh, Now as the Chilton woman, I want to stop by the shops.
I've already acquired the whiskey, correct? In that case, I'm going to walk around and get an eye for the shops and look for just sort of general adventuring gear, as well as like um, stuff for my tools, like poisoner's kit and thieves tool. I'm not going to be purchasing anything, but I'm just going to be scouting it out and just inquiring about prices. Uh, the actual shopping, I'm going to let one of my assistants do because I assume that they might try and overcharge me because of the way I'm dressed. Um, so I'm just scouting out and seeing if I get fair quotes from certain places and stuff like that, or if they're trying to scam me.
As of right now, no, because I'm still in disguise. Okay, let me get down. I have a few ideas. For it.
So I have a very full list that I was, assuming that I'd have to winnow down. Basically anything that you think could be that I thought could be useful is on my list, but
there's a few things. There's some things I had in my inventory already. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I didn't actually have that, so I need to buy those.
yeah, like I don't think I have a poisoner's kit or thieves tools.
Yeah, I don't think I have a disguise kit.
But then
I already have disguise self. I don't need that. I'll just delete that. I don't need that.
block and tackle, book, bottle, glass.
But the disguise kit is also really good. Disguise self is great, but if somebody has to detect magic up, you're going to be radiating magic from disguise self, whereas if you have a disguise kit, you're not radiating magic.
Okay, then I might. I'm gonna see what they're charging me for that, but that'll be a secondary.
Crowbar, 10-foot pole, grappling hook.
Oh yeah, Swig, did we
fishing
tell you that?
tackle.
Did we
Huh?
tell you that our group is currently called the Pesky Roaches?
I did not know that.
Oh god, yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, it is.
an hourglass. Ooh, a hooded lantern. Yeah, a little bag of sand.
Listen, nobody spoke up when they were like, "What's the name of your group?" And Vexus was, the Pesky Roaches.
No one spoke up. It's a Vexus immediately spoke up, and the second you said that, I knew it was sticking. There's not a chance. Okay. The main thing that I want to get today is I want to just find a boutique or atelier and find actual Chilton clothing. And then I also want to see if there's either an instrument store, one, or two, I want to see if I can find any sort of back alley, back route that can lead me to some sort of darker purchasings. Maybe, possibly. I need to get the clothing, but that's the second stop. I want to take a peek, see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for a similar version of what I'm wearing now. Kind of like gold, bronze accents, orange, traditional Chilton clothing. Kind of in that middle class area. It's similar to the whiskey, the type of clothing where I'll be able to get into places regardless, because people will be like, oh, you're probably someone important, but not oh, I am the next crown prince.
Very good. And you're looking for a single ensemble, right?
Trying to think. One sec.
Are we going wardrobe shopping here?
I'm either gonna get one outfit or two outfits. I'm definitely getting a female presenting outfit. I might get a male presenting outfit.
Alright, very good. So, as you've described that
and the shopkeep fixes for my husband.
Gotcha.
I want her having any inkling of what I'm doing.
Very good. Tiffany, you're welcome to more deeply describe this first outfit that you would be able to purchase, the price of 25 gold pieces. Another another similar outfit, male presenting, should you choose, could be had at a similar price.
Okay, then yes.
Tell us
I'm
all
gonna.
about it.
Ooh, I do have. Okay, I'm gonna do both. Okay, so for the female outfit, it's traditional Cholton garb. It's very, it's not overly gaudy, but definitely you can tell this was spent a pretty penny on. It's kind of like flowing golds and like bronze motif, like orange and like amber tones throughout it. It's very modest and covered, kind of fitting with the more traditional vibe I'm getting from a lot of the Cholton clothing I've seen. And this is basically a blended outfit of sorts. And I also want to find a hat. There's a hat on both outfits. They have hats.
Go ahead and add another 10 gold pieces to the total price point if you wish to purchase 2 very fine hats, which I'll let you know are not frequently in fashion in Chult. So this is a bit of a statement that you're making.
Okay, yeah, then I'll hold up on the hats. I'll get the 2 outfits. And then for the male outfit, it's similar like Cholton garb, quite covered, same colors, bronze adornments, that.
Very good. So, in that case, Tiffany, as you begin to make your way out of the Songbird's Respite with your newly purchased garments, where next?
It's 50 gold for the children of women. And I have to design these! Okay, I'm so excited. Writing down my character descriptions so I can redesign it.
Augustus, did you have your list ready?
Yeah, I just posted it in the party journal.
Oh, super. Let me check that real quick.
Some of them, I mean, I assume it's going to be, out of. Some of it's going to be out of reach, especially like the spyglass and magnifying glass, because those are very expensive.
They certainly will be. In general, you can expect a 25% surcharge on standard adventuring gear, like PHB gear, like the stuff that you've listed, when purchased within Nyanzaru. The one item that I'm curious about here is the backup spell book with used spells, if possible. Where would you go searching for such a thing? Just the markets abroad?
If there's any sort of magic shops that cater to, magical users, I'd check those first. Try and suss those out.
As you begin to inquire about such possibilities, go ahead and make me either a history or persuasion check.
So let me turn off advantage first.
So with a 5, you get only basic information. Something that I think that had been mentioned before, either in session or above table, which is that there's nowhere to purchase magic, such as scrolls, spell books, magical potions, etc., outside of the demesne and the purveyance of the merchant prince Wakanga Otanu. Of course, if you were to hit the import markets or find some means in order to find some access to black markets in Nyanzaru, your possibilities would be increased. But by provincial law, literally every scrap of every spell book that enters into Nyanzaru's trade channels is purchased by Wakanga Otanu.
Gotcha. So he controls the guild or has a monopoly. In that case, that makes my decision easy. That's who I'm trying to suck up and get close to.
Very good to know.
Games and execution trial. Sorry, I just doesn't have end body at all.
Do you have any immediate plans about how to do such a thing, or?
No, I mean that's probably who I'm going to use my alcohol, like trying to just get in with that crowd.
Gotcha.
And then hopefully, if maybe recognition in the races or something like that, or giving attention by making a big bet that pays off, those sort of things. Just spitball, and these are rolling with the. These are the things that are rolling around in Gus's mind.
Absolutely. Where next, then, in that case, Augustus, as you manage to get your pricing done, and as you gather that bit of information?
Around what time is it?
Right about now, it'd be about 8 o'clock in the evening.
I guess I'd hop back for a bit of a bite and a nip.
Back at Kaya's? Very good. Tiffany, are you also heading back to Kaya's, or did you have another stop?
And the last place I want to take a look at is I want to see. Yeah, I don't have gold for that right now. Yeah, I want to see if I can just do like an insight check to see if I can find any like inklings into how I would find the like black market.
What kind of sources would you go looking for? What would your investigation methods be like?
So just the Chilton woman, I know I blended a lot more still as I'm like maintaining like the probably like end phases of my disguise as it's an hour, so I have a little bit. I still have some time left. I'm wandering up and down basically like the walks of this market, investigating. I'm trying to see if I want to see anyone who's like doing deals that aren't like sanctioned. Like I want to see someone that's doing like some sort of deal backhanded, like next to a car in an alleyway, or someone who's like doing these kind of like other shady dealings, and then find a place where I can kind of like hail them or like talk to them without immediately putting myself up for suspicion.
Yeah, go ahead and make me an insight check. Well, we've seen
It's like Tiffany. I can see Tiffany walking up and like, "Hello, fellow teens. Are you doing the marijuana?"
Dear.
Yeah,
So,
for my was insight.
Oh yeah, it's an insight check.
3.
Very nice. With the 22, as you're making your way through the Grand Souk, you can see a very nervous expression on an elderly-looking gnomish woman with a sort of dirty brown smock running ankle length and a pair of very thickly calloused hands as she's moving her way through the crowd, looking over her shoulder almost continually. A suspicion arouses in you, and you begin to follow her from a distance. Eventually, you find her make her way toward what appears to be a florist's stall. A number of exotic-looking Chilton plants on display, some of them snapping at each other or attempting to strangle each other or rip each other from the soil, as occasionally you see a Chilton woman, also a little bit of gray in her hair, sort of slapping at one of the thorny vines that's attempting to violate its neighbor. After a moment, you see this gnomish woman move up and with a rather furtive expression begin to inquire about something. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Got it. Perception is +3 as well, so 12.
With a 12, from the unsuspicious distance that you've been following, and thanks to the cacophony of noise in the Grand Souk, you can't quite hear the words that are exchanged between them. Yet you do see the furtive nod from the stall's proprietress as she begins to lead the gnomish, as she first moves into the interior of her cart, gathering something, and then nods to the gnomish woman as they begin to move out of the comforts of the souk toward a shaded pavilion nearby that is draped in shadow.
Yeah. For now, I'll just continue to keep a distance and like watch what happens as they walk towards that area. Do I see where they walk into, like where they're going?
Yeah, no, it's literally just a pavilion that has been set up for public use here, out of the way from the main thoroughfare, and there's a number of tables nearby. You can see that there are a few other people that are having conversations. They've chosen a corner table that is very clearly out of the line of sight of the other citizens sitting nearby, though.
Okay. I walk up towards the florist stall. Oh no, they ran from?
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
You
Can I
gonna
run
say
a-
that?
Yeah, can I run a perception check before I like, because I want to look through, basically.
Look through the wares here?
Like, see if there's anything that stands out that would give me more information about what might be going on here.
Oh, sure. Make me a nature check instead of a perception check.
Ooh, fuck. Come on, D20, don't fail me now. Oh, yes, okay, and a +1 to nature.
Okay, with the 17, you notice that all of the flora on display, most of them are completely unknown to you. But that tells you something to begin with, which is that they're Cholton, for the most part. You haven't recognized a great deal of the flora in this place ever since you first arrived. Neither the flowering vines that grow upon almost every dwelling within this city, nor any of the strange flat-bellied, bulbously bellied trees that line its streets. But something you note is that as you sort of look your way behind the counter here that's been set up, is that beneath a small shade, where not a shade, that's not the right word. There's like a sort of a tablecloth draped over the counter here, right? You pull it back, and you can see that there is a thin row of enchanted gemstones that are radiating this sort of UV light on a number of familiar-looking flora from the Sword Coast. Everything from mint to licorice to spices, for the most part. Spices you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's being kept from view.
Okay. I think at this point, Tiffany would probably start heading back out of fear of her disguise coming undone without her being in a proper place.
Okay. Very good. Tiffany, making your way back to the Kaya's house to propose in that case?
Wait, okay. Before I head back, I want to do one thing. Can I do either like an Arcana check or anything on what these gems are, or a history check or whatever?
Oh yeah, go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
Perfect. That's the last thing I want to do. Yes. Okay. Yep, and Arcana's just +1. Okay, 7.
You're not sure what it might properly be called, but it's a very minor magically enchanted artifacts that appear to have no other purpose than to produce this light. There's certainly some value in them.
Exactly. Okay, I take a little spriglet of mint. Like not the actual plant. I just take pull off a small little leaf that I am gonna little propagate and put in a bowl somewhere at the fucking inn, and I head back.
Okay. Very good. As you take the sprig of mint within your between your fingers, you enjoy the scent of it as you move back to the house of your foes. Augustus, having moved back already, Vexus as well. It's around this time that you meet each other within the tap room.
Hey, can I make a quick amendment to my thing?
Sure.
Since I'm now on a budget, I'd be looking on the way back for any sort of street eats that are, cheap, but it smells good.
Oh, absolutely. So as I forget, are you a vegetarian?
No, but I do prefer fresh, veggies, but it's not
Even though meat is not always your first choice, something about the savory 17 herbs and spices that you sent from this, and the smell of boiling oil that you sent from this street cart nearby, as you managed to get yourself a little bit of Cholton fried velociraptor on the way back, like either a couple of big drumsticks or like a delicious breast slice, cost you 2 silver pieces, and it sticks to the ribs.
Tastes like chicken.
It does, a little gamier, but definitely chicken.
Tastes like alligator.
Yeah, which also tastes like chicken. So, any other activities before the party reconvenes at Kaya's?
Basically, while I'm wait. There's one other thing. 1 second.
Oh shit, I thought we were on the city map the whole time. My bad.
Yeah, basically, you said there was like a band playing right at the Kai's House of Repose.
Yeah, a trio of tabaxi fiddlers, and one of whom had a very large double bass.
I want to spend the time while we're just chilling, basically like studying their technique and studying Chilton music.
Yeah, go for it. Make me a performance check using intelligence as your modifier instead of charisma.
Got it. So D20. That's 6 again. And with which one?
So you'll add your proficiency from performance, and then you'll add your intelligence mod.
Okay, so it's gonna be a 13.
Very nice. With a 13, it's understated at first inspection. In fact, something that you notice is that the fiddlers are not really even playing individual lines. They're doubling up on the melodies, which are very simple. Something you really note quickly, though, is that Chilton music appears to be rather bass-driven. And there is not so much a bass line as a continual melody that's being played from that tabaxi plucking the strings of the double bass with his claws. And for the most part, it looks like the attention is being paid toward him as the star of the show. The music is entirely major key, from what you hear, and the crowd responds best to the music that is liveliest.
Okay.
So, as the party reconvenes in Kaya's House of Repose, your downtime having been occupied, it's about 8:30 in the evening at this point. Leah rushes by with a big thanks and a hug for each of you, even Vexus, although it's tricky for her still. Bringing you each a flagon of warm Tej, as well as a plate of Quipper with chips, which she very brightly informs you she's paid for from her own wages as a sign of thanks. What would the party like to do? Any discussions to have?
Around what time of the day is it?
It's around 8:30 in the evening.
Got it. So we have a meeting with Davos at midnight. And then is Vexus still here?
He's muted.
Okay, he might be.
He can type, but he can't.
Oh, got it. Oh, whatever in general, that's why.
Vexus tells the party that he's been invited to be part of an execution.
Okay, there we go. So we probably do definitely need to help with that. And then basically like sprint back to the dock. Because our meeting's meant to be at midnight, and that's at 10, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, we need to go help that man. The drunk ass man, he's literally screwed if we don't.
Yeah, I know.
Very good. In that case, I think with our objectives before us and Vexus in class now, this might be an appropriate place for us to end the session for the week. As the party begins to gather their equipment and make their way in the direction of the old city and the executioner's run.
Yay!
Good job.
And we're gonna have a lot of fighting next week.
Just a little bit, yeah. What about Vexus's exterminator business? Vexus, okay, let's see. I just out of the mercy in my fucking heart, man, I'm gonna roll you a d20 and add your persuasion mod. It's 4. It's a 9. A plus 4. Okay. With an 8, Vexus, the only person who invites you inside is a really suspicious-looking lizard man who is licking his chops as he looks you up and down. And you remember what your mom told you about people that look at you like you look at roaches.
And successful.
They are the most welcoming. Vexus is never heard from or seen again. He becomes lunch. No. Good session, guys. A lot of information uncovered. A lot of leads for you guys to pursue as well. And let's get to pursuing them next session. It sounds like we might be down to 2-hour sessions until October, you said the 17th, Schwick?
Yeah, October 17th.
Right. Thereafter, though, once we've all got our new scheduling aligned, we should be back to 4 hours.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks a ton for the game, guys. I always have a lot of fun running for y'all. If you have any questions or comments, I'm happy to hear them. Otherwise, I'm gonna go get some stuff done.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day, guys.
You-